Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining the Elderly Brothers in our podcast. I'm Artie and I'm in Florida.
I'm Larry. I'm still in New York.
Still, good for
Still.
you. Well, we've got a number of topics to talk about today, and I'm going to start with mine because it's less complicated than Larry's. But I have in my hand a Harry's razor. Uh,
Hmm.
most people know Harry's because they've done a ton of advertising. But if you don't have one or haven't bought them, that you really, if you shave a lot, you should get one. They are really, really good. They have five blades. They last for a long time unless you've got barbed wire for a beard. And they have on the back side, they have this blade on the back side for little trimming things, which you may
Making
not
me
know about.
nervous.
Huh?
I was afraid you're going to cut your lip.
No, you could, but I didn't. Anyway, reasonably priced, although I don't know the price at the moment, but they are exceptional razors and they're better than throwaway, disposables, but they really do a great job and inexpensive and worthwhile getting.
So, Harry, if you're watching, we want you to sponsor us.
All you old hairy users.
I've been using Harry for a long time. I shave about once a week, and the blade lasts me longer than I know.
Well, I shave every day and my blade lasts at least a month, and I usually dump it after a month just on general principles to get a new blade. Don't necessarily have to.
So, have you ever tried to just see the limits?
I don't know what the limit would be, whether it would just stop cutting or pull too much or what. But I haven't gone there. I haven't gone the limit, or I don't think I have anyway.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably when there's blood.
I think maybe I should experiment and try and reach the limit.
See, just go until there's blood
Yeah, okay. Until Till it's pulling the skin instead of the beard, right?
and let me know.
Yeah, really. So anyway, go ahead with your experience today.
Okay, so today was DMV day for me, the second actually, to get my enhanced driver's license, which allows you to do what you've always been able to do, but won't be able to do when they cancel the regular licenses.
And what makes it enhanced?
Um, so it seems that what makes it enhanced is that that's all you need to fly with.
Yeah, but
And
it
I
has
don't,
it has a little thing up in the right-hand corner, a star or something, some kind of symbol, and that's the enhancement.
right. And it allows you to fly with it. But it seems like my old license did the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't think the new thing has gone in yet, the new requirement.
No, they haven't canceled it. So what happened was I went a week ago to get it, and I got my thing filled out, the form filled out. I got to the window, and it turns out I didn't have my social security card with me, my original, which is what you have to have. You have to have a social security card and a passport and your existing driver's license and two documents that prove where you live.
So what if you can't find your original social card?
You got to go on the Social Security website and order a new one.
I've done that and it works.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, so that's considered original.
Yeah, well, they send you an actual little card.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got there. The last time I went, I didn't have my Social Security card, so I couldn't get it. So we rescheduled. I went today, and I realized I didn't have my actual driver's license. But I asked him, and they said, "Well, if you have other stuff, you can work around it." So I had my passport. I had my um, social security card today. I didn't have my driver's license. I had my receipt from my school tax bill with my name and my address. But they said the receipt didn't work. You had to have the bill.
Well, cut to the chase here.
So I'm cutting to the chase. Jennifer, who was servicing me, was incredible. She was a person who had come there to make what her task was, her job happen, not to make it more difficult for people to make it happen. So she worked, found a workaround for the driver's license. She found a workaround for the property tax receipt. And then when I couldn't read the eye test, she took me down about four booths to a place where they had a bigger eye test. And I passed that, all but one letter, Dorcas told me. And then you go and get your picture taken. And she took the picture and then she showed it to me and she said, if you don't like it, I'll take another one. So I felt like my beard was a little crooked. And she
Yeah.
took another one. And I walked out of there. Oh, one other benefit was that my current license was due to expire like in 6 months. She said, I could give you a new one now that's good for that period, or I can give you one that starts now and you get credit for that period. So the new one is worth like 5 years or something.
A great public servant.
A great public servant. Dorcas went back and found the manager and told her how great Jennifer was.
Well, that's important. People need to hear that on the job these days anyway.
That and I mean, she was amazing, and though it was a lot of stress, I got through it.
DMV is always a lot of stress, no matter what. You could be going and asking for nothing, and it's still stressful.
And the other thing that now we talked about that a little bit. I can't write anymore, so I had to fill out the form, and my everything's all wrinkly and barely legible. So that was a lot of stress.
Well, I can't write anymore either. I can print a little bit, but I can't write anymore. I mean, I printed this, for example. Where is it? Where is it? There. Oh, there it is.
Hold it. Yeah, I can hold it. Airboat.
Yeah. I mean,
Good.
it's
That's
readable.
good.
It's readable, but it's an effort
It
to get
is.
those letters so I can read them the next time.
And that the for me it's the vertical strokes, they wiggle, and curvy ones. It's just almost impossible.
Yeah, and you used to be a what do you call those things?
Calligrapher.
Calligrapher,
I
yeah.
taught calligraphy at one point.
Boy. Well, that's what elderly does for you.
I guess it does. And so that's the segue into the dermatologist.
Go go on the dermatologist quick though.
Okay, so I went to the dermatologist yesterday, and you go in and you take off all your clothes, but you can leave your underpants on if you want, which I did. But so she comes in and inspects you like if you're parking your car at an expense, if you have an expensive car and you're parking it at a parking lot, and they go around and mark, if there's a scratch on it, they'll make a little note of that so that you can't blame them for that.
I've never been to one of those places.
They well in New York City, they're like that. I mean, they don't
Well,
want people to come and bitch at them.
Yeah. So anyway, so she looked at you with that little light.
She had a lot. She had one of those like a dentist light, only bigger,
Uh-huh.
and she would illuminate parts of my body and then look at them. And she picked at my ear here. I had a little spot on my ear, and so she said, "She gonna." She picked that off, scraped it off with a blade of some sort, and it's a lot worse than it was. But so then she's going to do a biopsy on that. But she said she didn't see it would be a problem.
And did she freeze any little things on you?
Well, she did a little something to numb my up
Well, yeah, for the
here.
biopsy, but they
Yeah.
have a little freezy thing, a little kind of a canister of freeze that they can get those little white bumps and stuff off of you.
Oh,
Just freezes it up and goes away. But, it's not necessary. It's all cosmetic. But the dermatologist is like the auto mechanic, Usually you take your car in, I just want some air in my tires. They say, you need a new transmission, and I believe the Canuten valve's got to come out.
the Canutons go out all the time.
And yeah, the Canuten valve it goes bad a lot. And it's same with the dermatologist. Say, oh, I got to look at that a little more closely. And then they look at it more closely, and it always is not a good look. And then they have to cut you open in some way in little pieces.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Well, they get a little piece of you and then send it to the lab because I think they maybe get an extra payment for that or something.
Well, whatever, they got to send something to them because they can't just look at it, and it has to be grown in a petri dish
I guess
for a few days or 2 days or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's all it's not a scam, but it's close.
it verges on
Yeah, it's verge. It's not right on the verge.
verges on scammery. So then, well, the exact same thing happened to my lawnmower. I sent it
You
in
had
for
skin problems on your lawnmower.
well, there were things that needed to be done that amounted to $460 rather than the $120 I thought it was going to cost.
Well, that's a little pricey too. My goodness.
It was a lot pricey, but in fact, I got on it yesterday, brought it back, and I got on it yesterday, and it's better than it was when it was new.
Just hums around. Well, I gathered together some old jewelry that was hanging around here and took it to the jewelry store today and found out that gold, real gold, is worth like $3,200 an ounce now.
Right?
So I went back home and got my two of my ingots and took them over there, and it was worth $480,000, which I took out in cash.
Great.
Yeah. So I got a giant bag of cash, and I'm worried about somebody bopping me on the head. So I go into a bar instead of home, and I put the bag down and I forget it. So I go back and it's still there. It's unbelievable. I had like four shots of bourbon and some beer chasers, and then I had a couple of lines of Coke, and so it's no wonder that I forgot it.
So
But
nobody picked it up.
no, but gold is incredibly precious for even more so. I read about why gold is so desirable.
Yeah.
It has been for centuries and centuries.
Yeah.
I was talking to the jeweler today, and he said, yeah, it's gold, but and I said, well, it could have been silver, right? And he said, yeah, it could have been silver, but it just turned out to be gold. So gold could be worth nothing, and silver could be really expensive, but it's the other way around.
Well, because gold is, did they tell you why people like gold so much?
Yeah, because they like the look of it for a lot of, that's one reason.
It's shiny.
One more thing about leaving my bag in the bar. I went back and it was there, and I gave the bartender $500 tip.
Well, that was nice of you.
I thought so too. And he appreciated it. And he said, here, take this bottle of tequila with you. And I did.
Excellent.
So I plan on having that tonight and maybe a couple of more lines of Coke and see what happens.
I
Maybe
think that'll be good. And then how much? So how many pounds of gold do you have?
well, it was two ingots. That's like 14, not 14. They're 2.2 kilos each, so it's like 6 pounds.
Not bad. Not
Six
bad.
times six times 30. How many ounces in a pound? 16.
16.
So it's what did I say? Well, whatever it is, it's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Did you ever go in the Federal Reserve
No,
Bank in New York? And
no, I never did.
you go in the basement. I did some project for them. You go in the basement and they have in the vault, they have cages, and each cage is a different country's gold.
Hmm.
They hold your gold there. And the other thing I learned when I went there was they ship money in and out of their paper money
Yeah.
in unmarked semi trailers full of dollars and
Well,
fifties and
you see a
hundreds.
lot of those. You see a lot of those on the road, those
Yeah.
unmarked trailers. You think they all have cash in them?
Well, I think it's sort of a iffy. It's you might find one, you might not.
Yeah, the rest of them may have gold ingots in them.
They could.
Yeah. Well,
They load up the cash in pallets, on a pallet about 4 feet high.
a lot of cash.
A lot of truckload. I mean, if you could hijack one of those trucks,
Be set.
you'd be set.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised they let you take a gun into that bank with you.
Well, they didn't. I think I took pictures. I might have taken it.
You couldn't have taken pictures.
But here and there is Costa Rica's little stash. There's a pallet in there with a pile of gold bars on it.
That's amazing. I wonder how countries get their money there to buy gold or where the gold comes from.
I don't know, but then and they all I think they all have a number on them, so you can know which ones are yours because they could be shifting those around back and forth.
Yeah, and as long as the bank is honest and as long as it doesn't explode.
Those are two major criteria.
Yeah, and maybe even there might be more criteria too.
So
Anyway,
anyway,
we've covered a lot of ground here in a fairly lengthy discussion of various topics.
and I'm really tired from the DMV.
Well, okay, so you can nap after this. I may nap as well. It's mid-afternoon.
I had one more thing today. Well, I'm
Oh yeah,
tired now. I remember.
no wonder you're so tired.
I had to. I'm doing that project in the city, and it has to go through the Landmarks Preservation Commission.
Yeah.
So my expediter emailed me and said you need to get uh, documentation that the building is actually a landmark. And you go on the internet to this site, and that's where you can get it. So I went on the internet to that site. It took me about maybe 5 minutes to find it. And when I got there, then it said you had to have the project number and an email, which I don't have.
Of course not. Of course not.
So it's just more administrative work.
Well, isn't that what the expediter is supposed to do?
Well, I thought they should do that part, but they asked me to do it. So I emailed them. I told them I couldn't do it, and would they do it?
Well, that only cost a few bucks, right?
Yeah, but it's probably worth it
I guess, yeah. Well, it will be in the long run for sure.
because, yeah, I mean, my client can't build what she wants until the landmark said, yes, we are a landmark, which
Yeah.
they had said previously because I had to file earlier on another part of the same project.
Okay. All right, everybody. We have maybe bored you to death, but we're pretty happy with what we have to say today. I think it was informative. You heard about some things that occur in our daily lives, so ours and yours as well.
Theirs too, I'm sure,
Yeah.
and
So
everybody.
we'll say goodbye and we'll see you the next time.
And we'll beg you to look at this and like it and share it and do all those things so that we can
And
get popular.
Don't forget Harry's razors.
And let Harry's know that we're pushing their stuff.
Yeah. Tell them the elderly brothers sent you.
I love you, my brother.
Love you, my brother. We'll talk later.
I think we will.